Okay, in this video, we're looking at some harder substitutions where maybe we have more than one letter involved, or three letters involved, or where we're dealing with squares and both positive and negative numbers that have been squared. So when we do this, we go about it in exactly the same fashion as before, in that we just write down our expression. So our expression here, anything without an equal sign, with some terms in it. And what we're just going to do is fill in these values from what we're given and go from there. So this first one, 5 upon a plus b. So let's write that out. That's 5 upon what a is 4 and b is minus 3, so plus minus 3. We just need to be a little bit careful with that because we can rewrite that then as 5 upon 4 plus minus 3. These two signs together we just change for a minus sign, so it's 4 minus 3. And that's equal to 5 upon, well, 4 minus 3 is 1. And so overall that expression is equal to 5. In the second one, 5 upon a minus b, well, let's fill in what we've got. So we've got 5 upon a is 4 minus b. Well, b is minus 3. Now this time the two negative signs together mean we get a positive. Two negatives together make a positive. So rewriting that, that's 5 upon 4 plus 3. And we're just going stage by stage. So what's inside the bracket? 4 plus 3 is 7. So it's 5 upon 7. And that works out then, oops, as 35. 35. Our third example, same thing, we've got an expression, so write it down. So 3 times a is 4, times b, I'm just putting them in brackets here, you don't have to, but I quite like that, minus 2 times a, which is 4, and this times c is minus 6. So let's look at this first bit. 3 times 4 times minus 3, well, 3 3s are 9, times 4 is 36. A positive times a positive is positive, but when we then multiply by a negative, it's negative. So overall, this is a negative number, and I know that 3 times 3 times 4 is 36. Same sort of thing here, just need to be careful with our signs here. We're multiplying these two by minus 2. So minus 2 times 4 is negative 8. And negative 8 times negative 6, well, negative times a negative gives us a positive, and 8 times 6 is 48. And so minus 36 plus 48, well, that's the same as 48 minus 36, which is 12. And the last example here, a, b, c. Well, this simply means a times b times c. So again, I'm going to put them in brackets. 4 is the first one. B is minus 3, and C is minus 6. Well, again, just check your signs. Positive times a negative is negative, and overall that negative times another negative is positive. Or if you look at negative times negative is positive, a positive times positive is positive. So our answer is positive. 4 times 3 is 12, times 6 is 72. So it's positive 72, or we can just write it as 72, I guess. So more of the same, and we're going to go about this in the same kind of way. A squared simply means we take whatever a is and we multiply it by itself. So here we've got a squared, and if I know a is 4, that's 4 squared, which is 16. The second one, we've got b squared, so I'm going to take whatever b is and write it down, minus 3, and square it. Now here we just need to be careful because minus 3 squared means we've got minus 3 and we multiply it by minus 3. And when we do that, a negative times a negative is positive, 3 times 3 is 9. And actually, whenever we square a number, like so, or like so, we always get a positive answer. Because a positive times a positive is positive, and negative times a negative gives you a positive. Sometimes we need to be a little bit careful. 2a squared. Well, 2a squared means 2 times whatever a is, so in this case a is 4 squared. We need to be careful. This squared sign only applies to the a. Only the a is getting squared. And if you remember your BIDMAS, brackets and indices come first. So we're going to do this index first. In other words, I want to do 4 squared first. So that's 2 times 4 squared is 16. And overall that's 32. However, if I write that slightly differently, like this last one, 2a all squared, that means 2a's inside the bracket, and we're going to work that out first and then square all of it. So you just need to be careful with that. So that's 2 times 4 inside the bracket, and then we're squaring it, which is 8 squared, and 8 squared, 8 times 8 is 64. So just need to be careful. These look very alike, but they're significantly different. Here, 2a squared, the a is the only thing that's being squared, whereas here, everything in the bracket is being squared. And so we can move that on then to some slightly harder ones where we have squares involved, but we go about it again the same way. Write down what you're doing and then just simplify it stage by stage. Just take it in small steps. So here we have a, 4, being squared, and we're taking away from that c squared. Now here, c is minus 6 squared. So you see, I've written it down, just filled in these values. Just need to be careful that we don't just get rid of a minus sign. Because I know that 4 squared is 16, and we're taking away from that. Now here we need to be careful. When we square minus 6 times minus 6 is positive 36. So in other words, we're taking away from that just 36. If you want, you can think of it as 16 minus positive 36. And those we just change for one minus sign. And so 16 minus 36 is negative 20. So when we look at 3b squared minus 2c squared, let's write it down. 3 times whatever b is minus 3 squared. Take away 2 times whatever c is. So c is minus 6 squared. So this is 3. Well, minus 3 squared is 9, positive 9. And minus 2 upon, again be careful, minus 6 squared is positive 36. And so here we have 27, take away 72. And so when we do 27 take away 72, we get minus 45. And this final example then, ab squared over c, these things work just as well with divisions as well. Just fill in what we've got. So a is 4, b squared, well that's minus 3 all squared, and c is negative 6. So fill in what we see there. We substitute it in, and then let's work this out. Well, this is 4 times, well, minus 3 all squared. We've seen is minus 3 times minus 3, it's positive 9. And that's divided by minus 6. So 4 nines are 36, divided by minus 6. 36 divided by 6 is 6, and a positive divided by a negative is negative. And so overall, we can simplify that down to minus 6. And we say that we're evaluating this expression by substituting these values in.